Good evening. I call this meeting of the Pinellas County School Board on June 9th to order. Please note that there are 5 board members present in person. Ms. Meyer is unable to attend this evening, and Mrs. Long is appearing via Zoom. Mrs. Long, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Thank you, Mrs. Long. The votes will reflect 6 board members present. Please stand for a moment of silence and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance led by Vice Chair Don Peters and for the National Anthem.
Indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free, and the home of the brave.
Thank you. You may be seated. Now on to agenda item 1.5, graduation recap 2026.
And if you take anything from Tech High, let it be this. You are loved, if not by me, then by the friend sitting next to you, by the teacher who saw something in you before you saw it in yourself, or by the parent or guardian who's been cheering on since you understood what any of this meant, by the staff and administration who helped build this beautiful school community. You are loved, you matter, and no matter where we go next, it's gonna be all right. Congratulations, class of 2026. I can't see what we do next.
I will close with my mother's words to me every morning. And yes, I still talk to my mama. Keep looking up. Love never fails. Love never runs out. Love never gives up. Class of 2026, just like every day at the park, remember, we are proud of you, we love you, and make it a great Patriot Day. Let's go.
Now can anyone, and I mean anyone, who has made an impact on a graduate, please stand as well. And I mean teachers, parents, guardians, everyone in the crowd, stand up. Today may be a celebration of the graduates, but it is also your day. I'm sure each one of you has taken time at least once to help support or celebrate your graduate during these past 4 years.
And to my mom and dad, thank you for seeing every version of me and loving all of them. I'm sorry. Thank you for never brushing off my worries and always knowing the right words, whether advice, comfort, or simply I'm proud of you. You taught me kindness, resilience, and to believe I deserve good things. So much of who I am and who I'm becoming is rooted in your love.
Congratulations, class of 2026. We are proud of you,
We believe in you, and we cannot wait to see all that you accomplish.
That was such a great video capturing the momentous occasions of the graduations. Congratulations, graduates, families, staff, and stakeholders. It was truly amazing to see the excitement and pride as well as the tears of joy and gratitude as scholars walked across the stage. Next, we have agenda item 1.6, introduction of professional and community organization representative, Ms. Mascarenas.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the board, Mr. Hendrick, and staff. It is my pleasure to introduce the following representatives of the community and professional organizations. Representing the North Pinellas League of Women Voters, Debbie Entrikin. Members of the media in attendance, from the Tampa Bay Times, Jeff Solachek. Thank you.
Thank you. Now on to agenda item 2.1, amendments to the agenda. Mr. Hendrick, are there any changes to the agenda?
Yes, Madam Chair, there are two changes to the consent agenda. Item 7.5, request approval of the personnel recommendations for administrative appointments for the 26-27 school year. There are 6 names that have been removed. They were placed on the wrong agenda. And item 7.7, request approval of personnel recommendations for annual contracts for support staff as well as PTS. Names were added to that agenda. So 7.5 and 7.7 have been amended to correct the job titles.
Thank you. Board members, do you have any changes? As board chair, I find good cause to amend the agenda as described by Superintendent Hendrick. Now on to the adoption of the agenda. May I have a motion to adopt the agenda as amended? I have a motion from Mrs. Hine and a second by Mrs. Peters. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion to adopt the agenda as amended carries 6-0. We will now move on to item 4, special order agenda. Mr. Hendrick.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'll ask our board members to go down in front of the dais for this portion of the school board meeting where we recognize outstanding achievements of students in Pinellas County Schools. We're excited to have so many students here tonight who are being recognized for state-level awards in athletics, in academics, in the arts, and this includes recent ones and ones from a few months ago as well. As we call on each one, students, you're going to come up front. You'll take a picture with our school board members, shake their hands and take a picture. We have a photographer who will kind of direct you to the center of the line there. I think we have a few parents here tonight to celebrate their children and some staff as well. If you'd like to take a picture at the same time, feel free to do so. You can kind of sneak up to the side or behind our photographer. We just ask that you not run in front of the photographer while she's taking her picture. And so we're going to start tonight with the Commissioner's Academic Team Challenge Champions. So when I call your names, you guys can start to walk up to the front. Pinellas County Schools academic team won the Division I, which is the largest district, state championship at the Commissioner's Academic Team Challenge in April. The tournament tests students' knowledge across a range of subjects, including language arts, mathematics, science, social studies, fine arts, world languages, physical education, health, and technology. This marks Pinellas County Schools' 8th first-place victory in the history of the Academic Commissioners Challenge, including the 2nd year in a row, back-to-back state champions. Please welcome tonight students from the following schools. From Eastlake High School, Tejas Shareem. From Hollins High School, James Mikowski and Liana Tran. And from Palm Harbor University High School, William Kent and Aiden Khalil. And Aiden was also selected to the All-State Florida Academic Team. There's their FHSAA State Championship, and let's congratulate our state academic champions. Four of those 5 are off to college, including 2 to UF, 1 to MIT, 1 to Georgia Tech. No pressure on the returning junior. Next, our state Chemathon championship team from St. Petersburg High School. A team from St. Petersburg High School won the state Chemathon championship at the University of Florida. The students placed first place in the team competition for level 1, which follows the pre-AP chemistry curriculum. They were named the overall best team out of 29 teams competing from the state. And here to represent the team tonight from St. Petersburg High School is Samuel O. Come on up, Samuel. Next are students who won the Florida History Day State Championship in their respective categories. The Florida History Day awards are students who won the local Pinellas County competition and moved to the state level, and by their first place advanced to the national competition in Washington, D.C. this summer. Here tonight as state champions, first from Dunedin Highland Middle School is state champion Gwyneth Harrington, who won in first place in the junior group performance. And also here tonight from Madeira Beach Fundamental Middle School, Wake Stern. Wake won first place in the Florida History Day Special Award, the Florida Coastal History Award. His Coastal History Award was for the junior individual documentary. Our next category of recognitions are the Florida Art Education Association 2026 Florida Student Art Assessment Awards. Tonight, we're pleased to recognize from Palm Harbor University High School, Eva Adil. Eva won the top honor and best in show in this statewide competition. There were only 4, and 2 of those statewide competition wins were claimed by Pinellas County High School students. Congratulations. Our next honoree is for the 2026 National Junior Art Honor Society Juried Exhibition. Congratulations from Mangrove Bay Middle School, Ariana Gonzalez. Ariana won the statewide award from the National Junior Art Honor Society for her work titled Life of Letters, which celebrates the joy of discovery she associates with reading. Her best of show is in the experiential category. Next up, we're pleased to honor from the World Strides Heritage Music Festival Awards the grand champions from Seminole High School, which won multiple awards. Seminole High School's All-In Big Band and the Wind Ensemble were both named grand champions at the World Strides Heritage Music Festival. The festival was held in Washington, D.C., April 16th through the 19th. The Warhawks also received the festival award given to the school with the 2 highest combined scores. Here tonight, representing Seminole High School, are Rebecca Novak, Dylan Vinci, Indiana Plamados, Christina Hills, Madeline Vinci, and Victoria Hills. Congratulations. Also pleased to recognize students from Eastlake High School who won the Smoky Mountain Music Festival Championship, and they were honored at the Smoky Mountain Music Festival held also in April, this one in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. The symphonic band and orchestra each received first place in the National Division 4A, with the band earning the highest overall score among all high school instrumental ensembles at the festival. Here representing Eastlake High School tonight is Rodrigo Nader Flores. Congratulations. Next is the Florida Public Service Association Top Firefighting Chapter. This prestigious statewide honor reflects the program's commitment to excellence, leadership, and career readiness in public safety and goes to one chapter across the state which highlights this dedication. Our representative and winners are from Pinellas Park High School, which was named the FPSA Top Firefighting Chapter in the state, and representing the Patriots tonight are Chauncey Morris and Tariq Hobson. Congratulations. Our next category is the Skills USA Florida State Leadership and Skills Competition Gold Medalists. Skills USA is a nationally recognized career and technical student organization that prepares students for the workforce by developing technical skills, workplace readiness, leadership, and professionalism through competitive events. 164 Pinellas students competed in the national competition after their place in the state level competition across a wide range of career pathways. And 23 students won gold medals in this national competition. In the statewide competition. Here tonight, honoring from our technical colleges and high schools, we're going to start with our college medalists from PTC Clearwater, Kathleen Colleran, Taylor Vasta, and from PTC St. Petersburg, Ilana Kola, Sasha Bishkoff, Faith Wolf, Emily Eglett, and Yasin Ali McClendon. And those are all of our college medalists. Congratulations. Congratulations to our college students. And now to recognize our statewide winners for Skills USA in high school and dual enrollment, please congratulate Andrew Barringer, Brian Thack, Ian White, Paige Freeman, Leah D'Alessio, Stella Posplaplova, Tiago Fagundes, Grace Bruckner, Sydney Young, Colin Dunbar, and Park Chase. Congratulations. Congratulations to all of our Skills USA. I know they have been competing in their national competitions this week, last week. We even have a few there this week that we weren't able to recognize tonight. So congratulations to each group of students. Our next award winners are for the Florida HOSA Future Health Professional State Leadership Conference. These are first place winners. And we have from Palm Harbor Middle School, first place for Health Career Display, Avery Nelson and Ransom Simpson. Come on up. And for our high school winners in the HOSA Future Health Professional State Leadership Conference, Sasha Gupta, who won first place in clinical laboratory science, Smithy Saran, who won first place in medical assisting, and from Palm Harbor University High School as well, who won the Barbara James Service Awards with honor healthcare-related community service hours at the gold level, Tapapfa, Maida, and Jessica Kalani from Palm Harbor University High School. Congratulations. And if I can call back up one more winner from Skills USA who received a gold medal from PTC St. Petersburg in aesthetics. Please welcome Marissa Verkamen. Next, we want to recognize some state champions in tennis, starting with the FHSAA State 2A Girls Tennis Champion from Seminole High School. Please congratulate Freddie Hendricks. Congratulations. And the FHSAA State 3A Boys Doubles Team Gold Medalists and State Champions from Osceola Fundamental High School, Alessandro DiBernardo and James Mellinger. As you can tell from the ringing, their state team did well as well. The silver medal. Congratulations, Osceola. So based on who signed in tonight, that concludes our recognitions, but I want to give just a second. Did I miss anybody who signed in and did not get recognized? All right, everybody followed directions, and we read all the names. So congratulations to all the students recognized this evening. Our board members will return to the dais and continue the business meeting. You are certainly welcome to stay for our business portion tonight, but if you happen to want to leave, now is a very good time to do so. Have a great evening. Congratulations.
All right, we're going to go ahead back and resume our business meeting. Almost. Okay. Now on to agenda item 5, public comments on agenda items. Mrs. Hauk, are there any speakers for agenda items?
Madam Chair, there are no speakers for agenda items this evening.
Thank you. Now on to agenda item 6. There is no unfinished business. Agenda item 7, the consent agenda. May I have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda as amended? Second. I have a motion from Mrs. Kane and a second from Mrs. Blacksburg to approve the agenda as amended. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The motion passes 6-0. Now on to agenda item 8, non-consent. Board members, may I have a motion to approve agenda item 8.1, request approval to advertise the preliminary budgets, millage rates, and public hearing dates for the district's 2026 through 2027 budget. I have a motion from Mrs. Kane and a second from Mrs. Blacksburg. Mr. Hendrick, will you please introduce the item?
Thank you, Madam Chair, and welcome to the start of our 26-27 budget hearing process. As you know, the procedure by which the school district presents its fiscal budget to the board and the public is governed by state statute. And Mr. Jefferson is here to discuss the timeline and general process with you this evening. Mr. Jefferson.
Thank you, Mr. Hendrick. As you mentioned, State Statute 200.065 requires the school board to advertise the preliminary budget, proposed millage rates, and the scheduled dates for our public hearings concerning the district's 26-27 budget. This advertisement must be published in a newspaper of general circulation in the county no more than 5 days and not less than 2 days before holding the first public hearing. As such, these advertisements will be published in the Tampa Bay Times on Sunday, July 26th. The first public hearing is scheduled for Tuesday, July 28th at 6 p.m., and the second public hearing is scheduled for September 8th at 6 p.m. These dates comply with the statutory requirement to hold the final hearing within 65 to 80 days of the July 1st certification of the tax rolls for the county, but not earlier than 65 days after that certification. Approval of this request is necessary to ensure compliance with the truth in millage or TRIM process, which is designed to inform taxpayers about the taxes they are paying and the entities levying those taxes. This process ensures transparency and allows the public to provide input on the proposed budget and millage rates before final adoption. I respectfully request your approval for this agenda item to proceed with the advertising of the preliminary budget, proposed millage rates, and public hearing dates as outlined.
Thank you. Board members, is there any discussion? Mrs. Hine?
Thank you. With the recent discussion and news up in Tallahassee around property tax reform, could we have a discussion now as to how that may or may not impact schools? We heard that it was. We heard that it wasn't. Could we bring some clarity? Thank you.
Be happy to discuss that. So the Florida legislature, as you know, met last week in a special session to discuss property taxes. And in the end, school taxes were left off of the property tax constitutional amendment that will be presented to voters in November of 2026. Essentially, that means that school taxes, including the required local effort, the discretionary millage, the capital outlay millage, and the referendum tax, would not be affected by the constitutional amendment if it were to pass by the voters this November. I want to take this time to say we're grateful for the incoming Speaker of the House, Sam Garrison, and a couple of senators, in particular Senators Boyd and Trumbull, and others who worked to take that school tax portion off of the amendment, arguing in part that schools and this board have no other means of revenue if not for the FEFP. There's no opportunity for the board to charge fees or to go out and do a sales tax or to look at other ways for revenue. Our revenue is the FEFP and these property taxes per state law. However, this being excluded from the property tax amendment does not mean that schools or families would not be impacted by the amendment if it were to pass. We currently enjoy, through partnerships with Pinellas County government, such as the Health Department and the Sheriff's Office, a number of partnerships in which there is both in-kind and direct money that supports programs in our schools. For example, school nurses are in part funded by the health department through the county commission. For example, health programs and clinics at 5 of our high schools that are funded through the Department of Health, Juvenile Welfare Board, and county government. For example, police, our school resource officers. Right now, we pay for the person themselves, but not any of the overhead and all the other things that come along that if a sheriff's department or local municipality wanted to say, now you're going to have to pay for the threat management purposes that we have and the other employees and all of our cars and and any resource you may ever use, they could charge us a portion of that, just as we could for any other thing that we have in partnerships with. So other local municipalities, I would expect, through the resource officers, would be affected by us. Certainly the Juvenile Welfare Board, it's out-of-school time providers. That's their largest resource, is the out-of-school time that they do for families. So the R Club, the YMCA, summer programs, all of that our families access. I'm not saying that burden of funding would come on to us, but our families might be looking at us at 3 o'clock in the afternoon saying, well, what do I do for the next 2 hours until I get off of work? Even smaller things like SwiftMud, which is a small taxing agency on your tax bill, we have a partnership with them for teachers at Boyd Hill and Brooker Creek Nature Preserve that every 4th grader in this district takes a field trip to. We pay for half of that, they pay for half of that. If their budget is cut in half, I doubt they're going to be paying for teachers for field trips anymore. So you could go down the list with a lot of partnerships that we have that could be impacted by this. As a reminder, as a public agency, we may not spend public funds to advocate for or against or send any kind of communication about any kind of ballot item. We normally go over those rules. Mr. Kapersky goes over those rules with us around the referendum. This is different. It's not our issue, but we can educate and we can work with our partners and work within the law to share the potential impacts on directly Pinellas County Schools or indirectly our families and children. So that's where we sit as of this moment.
Any further discussion?
I think we'll have plenty of further discussion about this, whether it's at the workshop or future board meetings, but as we heard, there will be impacts to our schools and to our families and to our children. So thank you for outlining those for us, and I do look forward to further discussions.
Wonderful. I have a motion and a second to approve item 8.1. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The motion passes 6-0. Now on to agenda item 8.2. Board members, may I have a motion to approve agenda item 8.2, request approval of the proposed 5-year capital outlay plan and adoption of the tentative 5-year facilities work program for the 25-26 through 2029-2030. I have a motion from Mrs. Hine and a second from Mrs. Peters. Mr. Hendrick, will you please introduce?
Thank you, Madam Chair. As a reminder, the board approves the 5-year capital outlay plan as you would imagine every 5 years, a new plan. This is the work plan, the annual update to that. It's typically done in the fall. However, the state portal, as is noted in the agenda item, did not open until after spring break. And so we're bringing it to you at this point, even though we're sort of reviewing the past year. So with that, I'm going to pass it to Mr. Jeppesen, as this is more of a financial update than it is a programmatic update from operations. Mr. Jeppesen.
Thank you, Mr. Hendrick. As you mentioned, this is our 5-year capital plan, basically the roadmap for how we pay for and take care of our buildings over the next 5 years: roofs, air conditioning, technology, safety, construction projects, and our debt payments. The state requires us to update it and bring it to you every year, and the first year of the plan becomes our capital budget. To put this plan together, our capital committee, Ms. Dahl, school and district staff, worked through the needs using the state's facility survey and our own priority system. The needs of the district are dynamic and changing, so the plan is built to follow where the real needs are, not just where something happens to be on the list. I will note that this is the capital plan for the current year, 2025-26. In most years, we bring this to the board around the time the budget is approved. This year, we couldn't because the state's reporting system wasn't open, and it didn't open until March 20th. As soon as the site was open, we got the data entered, and that is what we are presenting tonight. Approving it now puts us back onto schedule. A few quick numbers. We have about $173 million going to new construction and remodeling over the next 5 years, and about $42 million for debt payments. A big piece of this overall plan is to just keep up with the maintenance like the roofs, chillers, flooring, and that kind of life cycle work. We've also carried a reserve for the Helene and Milton recovery, and those funds have been used throughout the year, repairing damage from those storms. On the revenue side, the taxable values and the millage rate that the state provides show that capital funds continue to grow a little each year. We've also added for the 5th year, 2029-30, like the state statute requires. One more note, because this is the current year plan, it doesn't include costs for the planning for progress projects yet. Those will show up in next year's document. I respectfully request the approval of this agenda item to approve the proposed 5-year capital outlay plan and adopt the tentative 5-year facilities work program for the 25-26 through 29-30 years.
Thank you. Board members, are there any items on this topic to discuss? All right. I have a motion and a second to approve item 8.2. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes 6-0. Now on to new business. 9.1, items introduced by Mr. Hendrick.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Since we last met, the state legislature finalized the budget, which includes the Florida Education Finance Program's projected distribution. We'll have a broader discussion of the overall budget at our June 23rd workshop and the public hearings, which you just approved. Thank you. However, I did want to provide the board and a public just a high-level overview of what is contained in this budget. A reminder that it's not yet been signed by the governor. I'm not even sure it's been presented to him yet, but it hasn't been signed, and certainly there can be other changes. The budget does not separate the FEFP from the Family Empowerment Scholarship or rectify any of the issues that were presented in Senate Bill 318 by Senator Gates. In Pinellas, the Family Empowerment Scholarship funds are now $172 million of the FEFP that you'll see presented. An overall increase in FEFP funding for Pinellas traditional public schools was 1.6%. However, because of the projected decline in enrollment of about 3,300 traditional students, the overall funding decline is somewhere between 30 and 40 million, depending on how you calculate some of the categoricals, which are spread amongst multiple groups. Included in this increase is a base student allocation, or BSA, increase of $85 per student. From this increase, districts must meet the provisions of the Teacher Salary Increase Allocation, or TSIA. That has been in place now for 8 years, and this increase this year, the language in this increase provides that salary increases must be provided to classroom teachers of over 10 years of experience first. This is a major change from previous TSIA language, which focused on instead raising the base salary for new teachers and then sharing equally amongst all teachers using the highly effective and effective ratings that they received in their annual appraisals. That portion, while still in the law, is actually deleted from the implementation bill and focuses on this 10 years and more. There's about $5 million in this allocation for the fund for Pinellas County this year. And with this overall $30 to $40 million decrease and 5 of it having to go to this one specific thing, that adds another sort of bucket of deficit to start out with because it's dedicated to a specific part. So before any other raises for other employees, before health care, before operational increases, certainly before inflationary aspects, it's sort of starting at a deficit. Now the good news, of course, is we reviewed with you staffing changes due to enrollment at our April workshop and showed that we have planned for that budget with the staffing changes due to the number of students we serve. And so we're in a good place in terms of planning, but yet still there will be challenges. Another important part of this is the proportion of local funding for Pinellas County homeowners increased another nearly 2%, meaning that 63% of the FEF funding is now from local property taxes. And if you add in the referendum and capital millage, the overall funding from local property taxes is 85% now in Pinellas County, where 15% comes from the state. The board had argued around the Calc 3 calculation and giving some relief back to districts. There was a one-time budget allocation of $80 million statewide for those calculation adjustments. For Pinellas County, on a pro rata share, that turned out to a $1.6 million one-time allocation. So not recurring, but one time. Again, we'll have a more in-depth discussion at the workshop on June 23rd. I wanted to jump onto some other topics, starting with our video tonight, high school graduations. I want to thank our school board members for attending all 26 graduation ceremonies at Tropicana Field, Ruth Eckert Hall, and school locations around, and of course the city of Clearwater as well at the Baycare Sound. Over 6,000 graduates from Pinellas County Schools, and I thought the video did a great job of showing the spirit of our students and what a great time it was, especially to be back indoors at Tropicana Field. I want to thank the city of Clearwater, the city of St. Petersburg, the staff at all the locations for helping our students and families along the way. Last week, the National Merit Scholarship Corporation announced the 2026 college-sponsored merit scholarships, additional ones. 17 more Pinellas County School students earned the prestigious scholarships. So they went from semifinalists to finalists to then actually earning the scholarship, somewhere between $500 and up to $5,000 annually for 4 years of undergraduate study. This marks the third round of winners for the 2026 National Merit Scholarship Program. 3 Pinellas County students won the Merit Scholarship in May of $2,500 a year as well. Congratulations to Morgan Fitzgerald, rookie teacher Olivia Ersch, who was recognized as the Florida Educators of Family and Consumer Sciences Rookie Teacher of the Year. The award celebrates exceptional educators in their first through third years of teaching, and our own Morgan Fitzgerald's Mrs. Ersch was recognized across the state. She teaches fundamental of culinary careers, principles of food preparations, and exploring family and community science. Congratulations to her. Last week, the district honored our Substitute Teachers of the Year. 120 nominees, one from each of our schools, were represented. Our teacher substitutes filled more than 63,000 teacher absences last year. I want to thank our board members who attended, as well as the Pinellas Education Foundation for sponsoring that great event. And last Thursday night, Midtown Academy celebrated the 100th anniversary of their school building in a great community open house at the former Southside Junior High, but now Midtown Academy. The school is listed on the Register of Historic Places, first opened as Southside Junior High School in 1926 and later became Southside Fundamental. Today, of course, it is home to the A-rated Midtown Academy Center for Cultural Arts, Gifted Studies, and Literacy Innovation. The celebration last week featured school tours, a drum circle, a performance by the Gibbs High School Marching Band, and a ribbon cutting for the Butterfly Garden. I want to thank our board members who attended that as well. It's hard to believe, but our first week of Summer Bridge already came and went. We're deep into week 2. And so about 5,000 students are participating in the elementary program, and about 2,000 middle school and high school students are participating in programs there. We also kicked off our summer camps last week, and this week are offering more than a dozen programs ranging from girls' construction camps to mural making and team sports. The very popular Ignite Arts Camp, the 2-week camp, is also going on this week and includes a diverse range of activities across music, dance, and theater. There are limited spots and a few camps left, some late cancellations, so families can check those out on our website. And last but not least, I'd like to recognize the superintendent standout who has demonstrated core values, and tonight's honoree is Mrs. Kayla Weeks, a payroll technician in our payroll department. She was recently recognized by someone at one of our schools who said she went above and beyond to ensure my payroll concerns were handled accurately and efficiently, transforming stressful moments into manageable and straightforward tasks. This person wrote in as a new secretary doing payroll for one of the first times and said that Kayla's outstanding attitude and her willingness to drop everything and assist her without hesitation exemplifies customer service, and her positively influences all those around her. Thank you, Ms. Weeks, and all of our employees for the work that they do each and every day. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Superintendent Hendrick. Next on our agenda, 9.2, items introduced by the school board attorney.
I have no report this evening. Thank you, Madam.
Agenda item 9.3, items introduced by the board. Mrs. Hine?
Thank you, Madam Chair. The graduations were amazing. The awards tonight were incredible. I mean, it just, even watching the video of the graduations, I mean, you're there in person and you're moved in person, but to watch the video, I was moved again. And so it's really wonderful to be reminded of the excellence that we have in our schools. And then, I mean, to hear about somebody, you know, they won the Smoky Mountain Bluegrass Festival. I don't know what it was with some Smoky Mountain. That's amazing. Our kids are going up to the Smoky Mountains and winning band competitions. I mean, so there's so much good news. And praise the Lord, because there's so much really hard news. Thank you for giving us the update on the budget from Tallahassee. I know we have our budget workshop in a couple weeks, which I'm looking forward to. If we can get those documents as early as possible, that'd be great to be able to review them. I know it's something that we all care a lot about. You know, you hear a 1.6% increase. I just want everybody to think about what 1.6% represents to you and your families. If you were talking about your own annual compensation increase, what that would feel like. So that's what our district is getting. And then you also laid out the pieces around the requirements with teacher compensation, and I know we'll start getting into negotiating that, but it's compensation, it's healthcare. Don't forget, we have 13,000 employees. I mean, largest employer in Pinellas County. So when we're talking about compensation, it's a lot of people and it's a lot of money. And it's their remuneration, yes, excuse me. It's also healthcare, it's also retirement. The cost of healthcare, as you all know in your own plans, is going up. And so how we manage those dollars is really important, and it's difficult. If the amount of money you're getting in is limited, is hitting a ceiling year over year for 20 years, but yet your expenses are increasing, there are tough decisions that have to be made. And so I think it's really important for people to understand what is happening on the revenue side of the equation when it comes to your schools. Yes, you can be upset about the expenses side of the equation too, and you can advocate for those dollars, and I want to advocate for them with you. You've got to understand what's happening on the revenue side and be able to advocate with the folks in Tallahassee around that. You said we got 1.6 million of the third calc funding. Was our loss around 9?
Our loss was 11 point something.
11.
So it was, 10% of that.
1.6, thank you. And you mentioned the amount of money to scholarships now in Pinellas County at $172 million tax dollars. And if you just compare that to 3 years ago when it was only about 15 million, I mean, there have been some extraordinary changes to the revenue side of the equation in all aspects of education here in Florida. I do want to share with my fellow board members, I've had several committee meetings over the last few weeks. The technology referendum committee meeting was really good. As you know, those referendum committee meetings, they have people from elementary, middle, high, people from the community, parents there, and we discussed a number of things, one being the improvement to the Apple computers, or the shift to the Apple computers and answering questions. Also, people being grateful for the increased referendum dollars so that they can, of course, do more good, and then how they plan to, or how they propose to spend those dollars. We got into discussion that these referendum dollars are more for hardware, not for software. And I remember a couple years ago in workshop, we reviewed all the different software. Remember, we went through everything and we made some updates to what we did there. We had a discussion about that, still the same. And I'm just curious about, some of the new stuff that we've implemented over the last couple of years. How's it going? Do teachers like it? Do we think it provides, so just at some point taking another review at all those different software that we use and getting feedback from the people in our classrooms and our parents that are using it. We also had a good discussion about the amount of technology exposure in schools. You all probably hear in the news and people talking about amount of tech and kids. So that was a good conversation. Also, the School Transportation Safety Committee was held just a couple of weeks ago. Good presentation from the Sheriff's Office on e-bikes, and they did ask for some help with back to school, if we can provide some comms to parents and families to understand that a dirt bike is not an e-bike. It's become very, 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 very popular for especially middle school kids are begging for these dirt bikes, and they're calling them e-bikes. They are not, and dirt bikes are not street legal, and all these kinds of things. So it's really interesting information when you start getting into it. So I know we perform a lot of services that aren't necessarily schools, but that was one that came up, so I'll share some of that information with you as well. We also have had a couple of calendar committee meetings, and we'll be looking at the 27-28 calendar at our next workshop and be talking about whether we have school on Veterans Day was really kind of the primary discussion at the most recent calendar committee meeting. So I just wanted to give you a heads up about that, and I look forward to seeing everyone at the FSBA conference over the next couple of days. So thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Hine. And that leads me to my comments. Yes, tomorrow, FSBA conference begins. It is definitely an exciting time. A lot of the things on their agenda is related to AI and technology, so I plan on participating in some. And then I've been invited to present to the Equity Committee regarding COSBA and UBA, which is the Unified Board Advisory. So I'll be speaking to the Equity Committee as well as learning from other board members from around the state. And then Thursday night, I get to have my final meeting as the president of the Greater Florida Consortium of School Boards and celebrate. Yes, Mr. Jefferson, I'm looking at you. If Shelby was in here, I'd be looking at her. I see you. Celebrate the hard work of the Pinellas County team in helping make sure that we did what we needed to do regarding the consortium at the business dinner in the meeting. So if you're able to come, please come. And that concludes my remarks for this meeting. Now on to agenda item 9.4, review of board request.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I noted two, an update addressing how new software implementations are going since the last board discussion, and possible comms to schools and families regarding e-bikes versus dirt bikes, etc.
Thank you very much. And now on to adjournment of the meeting. I adjourn this meeting and we will move to public participation. Mrs. Hauk, are there any speakers?
Madam Chair, we have two speakers this evening.
Thank you. We will now move to public comments on the general business of the district. Please note that the views and comments of the public speakers are their own and are not endorsed nor sponsored by the school board or district. We cannot ensure the accuracy of the statements made, but will review concerns that are raised and take appropriate action, which may include clarifications or the referral of speakers to the proper staff member for assistance. The board is committed to a standard of civility and decorum in conducting our meetings. This includes refraining from clapping or making audible noises during or after a speaker's comments. We appreciate you assisting us in maintaining a civil and constructive environment. Additionally, please note that although board members or Superintendent Hendrick may leave the dais briefly, there are speakers in the back room and we will continue to be able to hear your comments. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Our speakers this evening are Joey Kresniselski and Tracy McConnell.
I go first? All right, I'm in. Sorry, I'm too tall here. Okay, I'm here because I want to announce that a comment about autism or in education. And I wrote it, I said, my name is Joey Krasowski. I appreciate the opportunity to speak tonight. I'm a high function autistic adult. I currently finishing my school bachelor's degree in Homeland Security and continuing my pursuing on to nursing to become a registered nurse. I'm here tonight to ask the school board to consider creating a basic autism awareness program for middle school and high school students, along with additional autism training for school resource officers. The reason this is important is to me because I've seen a lot of bullying, misunderstanding towards people with disability. Many students do not fully understand autism, and the lack of understanding can lead to teasing, judgmental, exclusive, and bullying. I like to think of autism like a puzzle. One puzzle piece doesn't fit every spot because every piece is shaped differently. Autism is the same way. Every person on the spectrum is different. Some people need more support, some needs less. And even everyone, has their own strengths and challenges. In my case, many people would never know I'm autistic unless I told them. My educational journey shows that autism does not prevent someone from being successful earning a degree, or contributing to their community. The reason I came up with this idea is because understanding should start before students reach college. When students get to college, they would be surrounded by people from many different backgrounds, include autistic individuals. Often they may not know someone is autistic until they notice certain behaviors, communication styles, or interactions. I also believe that education is important because students will eventually enter the workforce, become active members of the community. No matter what career they choose, they will likely interact with the autistic individuals throughout their lives. Having basic understanding of autism can help create better communications, stronger relationships, and more inclusive environment. My hope is that the school district will consider becoming a leader in autism awareness education, and I also hope programs like this can eventually expand to schools across the country, so future generations have the better understanding.
Thank you.
Good evening. This is my first time addressing the board as the incoming PCTA president. Last week was my first full week doing the duties of the president. I had the opportunity to go to 6 non-renewal appeals and 2 OPS meetings. I learned a lot. The more I reflect on my observations of the week, the more wonderings and questions I have. I guess the biggest thing that really surprised me was that some teachers are being non-renewed after being rated effective or highly effective with no discipline and no success plan. Couldn't these same teachers be involuntarily transferred to other schools? Pinellas had over 160 non-renewals. I'm wondering how many of those teachers who were non-renewed were highly effective or effective teachers. The lack of job security is hurting our profession. Moving these teachers instead of just cutting them makes more sense, especially considering there are parents who are upset because they have children who go long periods of time without a highly qualified teacher. Imagine you're a 6th grader who took advanced math virtually so you could get ahead because that was the option given to you by your counselor. But then when you get to 6th grade, your extra work doesn't matter because you do not have a highly qualified teacher. So as a result, your test scores go down. Even minimum wage jobs have more job security. When I worked at Michael's, anyone being let go over performance, anyone being let go was over performance. You had better believe that the manager let someone go, they met with them at least to give them a warning. When an employee was let go, it caused the store to be short-staffed, which means you can't meet the needs of the customer. Does PCSB have highly qualified teachers in front of all students at all times? Another thing is someone being non-renewed after several years can bank a lot of sick time. One man banked 50 days. His diligence to being in the classroom instead of using his sick time has financially impacted him. Since the district considers any absences above 10 days as a concern, is there a benefit to banking sick time as an annual contract teacher? I know there is a state statute that allows non-renewals, but just because we can do things doesn't mean we should. An example would be Florida law also prohibits local governments from passing heat safety mandates for outdoor workers, but businesses choose to implement voluntary rules to keep their employees safe. So with that being said, PCSB can choose to do better by their teachers. Thank you.
Madam Chair, there are no more speakers this evening.
Thank you. That concludes public participation. Have a great evening.